Good morning, everyone. My name is Yasir Gulfraz, and I am your tutor for today's session, which is Advanced Business Research Method. So, everybody can hear me, and can you see my screen? If there is any issue, please do let me know. If anyone is there, any issue, if you can't see my screen or if you can't hear my voice, please do let me know. So let's start with our learning outcomes 2, which is be able to design business research methodologies. Today's lecture on advanced business research method. In this session, we will explore the essential aspects of designing business research methodologies. Research plays, as you know, that research plays an important role in understanding of various aspects of the business environment and making informed decisions. By developing effective research methodologies, we can ensure reliable and meaningful results that drive organizational success. Designing business research methodologies involves careful consideration of the research objective, selection of an appropriate research approach, and the development of research instruments. Implementing the research plan, analyzing the data, and drawing meaningful conclusions are vital for ensuring the success of the research. So by following these steps, organization can make well-informed decisions and drive positive change. So let's get started reviewing the literature. First of all, we'll talk about what a literature review is. A literature review is a critical analysis of existing research and scholarly articles related to a specific topic. It serves as a foundation for your own research by providing an overview of what has already been done and what knowledge gap exists in the field. When constructing your literature review, it's important to follow some key guidelines. Firstly, you need to define your research objectives clearly by having a clear understanding of what you want to achieve in your study. You can ensure that your literature review align with your research goals. And next, you need to conduct a comprehensive search for relevant literature. This involves exploring academic database, journals, books, and other reliable sources. So by doing so, you can gather a wide range of perspectives on your topic and establish the current state of knowledge. Once you have collected sources, it is time to analyze and evaluate them critically. This is where your critical thinking skills come into play. You should carefully examine the methodologies used in these studies, this credibility of the authors, and the relevance of the finding to your research objectives. This critical evaluation will help you identify strengths, weaknesses, and gap in the existing literature. Any question if anyone is there? Okay, process. The process, your research project seeks to provide explanation, solution to real issues in a live context. To avoid becoming insular and making mistakes, you will break new ground. by immersion in the selected theoretical areas, including other relevant theory, maybe not from areas of management development, uh, critical and conceptual failure. So first step in the process to immerse ourselves in the selected theoretical area. This means diving deep into the existing knowledge, understanding the concepts, theories, and frameworks that have been developed for experts in the field. By immersing ourselves, we gain a comprehensive understanding of the subject matter, allowing us to identify a gap in the existing research and formulate new ideas or solutions. Uh, we acknowledge that solely rely on the management field may limit our perspective and hinder our ability to find innovative solutions. So we will also explore theories from other relevant disciplines by expanding our horizons and considering insights from fields such as psychology, sociology, economics, or even natural sciences. We can bring fresh perspective to the table and uncover novel approaches to the problem we aim to solve. How theory and literature help you? How can theory and literature help you? Uh, any question or anybody can, if you can't see my screen or if you can tell me about if anyone is there, how can theory and literature uh, help you? Okay. Have you ever faced a problem that seemed overwhelming or too difficult to grasp? So theory and literature come to the rescue. They break down complex concepts into meaningful pieces, making them easier to understand. Theories provide framework or models that organize information and help us make sense of complex phenomena. Similarly, literature, whether it is academic articles, books, or research papers, presents idea and finding in a structured and accessible manner, making it simpler for us to grasp complicated topics. Moving on, theory and literature also offer explanation for outcomes when we encounter certain events or situations. We often ask ourselves, why did this happen? Theories provide us with a possible explanation by uh, offering insights into the underlying factors and mechanism that contribute to those outcomes by examining relevant literature. So we can explore different perspectives and uncover theories that shed light on the causes and effects of specific phenomena. Theory and literature offer justification for taking actions or adopting positions in our personal and professional lives. We often find ourselves having to make choices or form opinions. Theory and literature can provide us with a solid foundation to support our actions or positions. By grounding our decisions in well-established theories or by referencing credible literature, we can ensure that our choices are informed and backed by reliable information. Any questions so far, if anyone is there? Okay, so key areas of literature: theoretical, contextual, technical, practitioner. Use all three where this is helpful. There is no requirement to exclude practitioner publications. So first one is theoretical literature, focuses on the analysis, interpretation, and exploration of literary work. Next is contextual literature, which explores the social, historical, and cultural aspect that influence and shape literature works. And the last one is technical practitioner literature. So technical or practitioner literature focuses on practical application of literature in various fields. It includes works that provide guidance, advice, and techniques for writers, teachers, and those involved in creative industries. So key areas of literature, obviously referred journal articles, research literature, expert on current research and theory, referred conference papers, similar to referred journal articles. Referred conferences paper are presented at academic conferences and subsequently published in conference proceeding. Edited collection of referred work deemed or sufficient significance to be reissued, unreferred referred conference paper and journal articles, trade press practitioner publications. Trade press or publications, practitioner publications are targeted at professional working in specific industries or sectors. Then textbook, wide introductory textbook or comprehensive resource that provide an overview of a particular subject. So while he said introductory books are excluded, because more advanced textbooks are valuable sources for in-depth understanding of theories, concept, and methodology. So they often synthesize existing research and provide broader perspectives on a subject area. Constraints on the literature review: scope of literature versus narrow research objectives to focus your research, access to literature, time factors, ability to understand the literature, integration of literature, search, and analytical framework. So first is scope of literature. When conducting a literature review, we must decide whether to have a wide scope or a narrow focus. A wider scope involves reviewing a broad range of sources, which can be time-consuming and overwhelming. So a narrow focus helps us concentrate or search on specific research objectives, enabling us to find more relevant and targeted information. Access to literature. Access to relevant literature can be constrained. But it is important to remember that there are various avenues to obtain articles and books. So beside your institution's library, you can explore, interlibrary loans where you can borrow materials from other libraries. Then is time factors. Time is a significant constraint in any research project. So the process of conducting a literature review can be time consuming due to the vast amount of information available. Next is ability to understand the literature. Understanding the literature can be challenging, especially if you are exploring a complex or specialized field. So the terminology, concepts, and research methods used in scholarly articles may seem overwhelming at times, It is essential to preserve and develop your understanding gradually. Don't hesitate to consult experts or seek clarification to ensure you gap the content properly. Integration of literature, search and analytical framework. Literature review should align with and support the analytical framework of your research. Your analytical framework provides the theoretical foundation and structure for your study. It is important to ensure that your literature search is directly connected to your analytical framework. By integrating these two elements effectively, you can strengthen the validity and reliability of your research. Any question, if anyone is there? Develop critical reflex. Be very sure of veracity and currency of the literature you use. Think, what is this telling me? Who wrote it? How old is it? And how does it address my research objectives? Because these are quite important, points. So here, critical reflects think. So we will explore three key questions to help us cultivate critical mindset. What is missing? Is there misrepresentation, and is there a balance in perspective? Is other perspectives? So what missing from this that you might reasonably expect to be included? As a critical thinker, we should question the assumptions and limitations of the information provided. And in this misrepresentation, the contextual specifics of issues I am addressing, misrepresentation of information can distort our understanding and critical thinking. It is essential to be aware of the contextual specifics and verify the accuracy of the data or claims being presented. Must pay attention to the sources of information, their credibility, and any potential biases they may have. It is over perspective, under socialized and unjustifiable upbeat. So as critical thinker, we should be cautious of information or arguments that are over perspectives, over perspective, lacking social awareness, or excessively optimistic without sufficient justification. So this is especially important when dealing with complex social issues or discuss making process. Any questions so far? So conceptualizations, concepts are building blocks at master levels, some of which are also measurable, for example, quality, productivity, etc. Equally, some, for example, leadership, strategy, motivation, etc., are not measurable. So concepts are fundamental building blocks of our understanding of the world around us. They are mental representations that help us categorize and make sense of the diverse aspects of reality. By simplifying complex ideas into manageable units, concepts provide us with a common language to communicate and explore the explore the qualities or qualities of our environment. One such concept we will explore today is resource. Resource. So think of concept is a big umbrella term that encompasses a range of related objectives or ideas. In the case of resource, it refers to various elements within an organization that contribute to its functioning and success. So these elements can include people, machine, money, time, and even theoretical framework that aid into analyzing the internal working of the organizations. So by conceptualization research in this way, organization can assess their strengths and weaknesses in each area. They can identify areas where they need to invest, allocate resources strategically, and optimize their overall performance. So in simple term, concepts are fundamental ideas of notions that help us understand and organize our knowledge about a particular subject. So they serve, as the building blocks of higher level thinking and are important in academic and professional setting. Remember what the literature reviews undertake to construct and justify, defend your analytical framework. It must not be limited to the sources of this framework. The framework can be supported and explained by others supporting referencing. What exactly is literature review? In simple terms, it is critical evaluation and summary of the existing knowledge and research on a particular topic. When conducting a literature review, we explore into various academic sources such as research papers, books, and scholarly articles to gather information and insights. But also it is important to remember that our literature review should not be limited to the sources that directly contribute to our framework. While these sources are essential and form the foundation of our analysis, incorporating other supporting references is equally important. So these additional references broaden our understanding, provide alternative perspectives, and enhance the credibility of our frameworks. The framework can be supported and explained by other supporting references. By using supporting references, we can also address potential gaps of literature, or gaps or limitations in our framework. These references may introduce or alternative viewpoints that challenge our initial assumptions. Engaging with these perspectives demonstrates intellectual rigor and encourages a more balanced analysis. And your analytical framework does not have to be a schematic. It does not have to be a picture or a complex diagram. It can be a list of analytical headings, the links between which are explained. So analytical framework is a powerful tool that helps us organize our thoughts and approach complex problems in a structured manner. Contrary to popular belief, it does not have to be a fancy diagram or a complicated picture. It can be as simple as a list of analytical heading, which we'll discuss shortly. So analytical framework provide a structure for our analysis, helping us break down complex problems into manageable components. It acts as a roadmap, guiding us through the analytical process and ensuring that we consider all relevant aspects. So by using an analytical framework, we can enhance our critical thinking skills, improve decision making, and communicate our finding more effectively. Next is it can be a list of analytical headings, the links between which are explained. So as mentioned earlier, it does not have to be complicated. In fact, a simple list of analytical headings can be highly effective. These headings represent the key areas of dimensions that we need to explore to gain a comprehensive understanding of the problems at hand. Preparing a conceptual model. A conceptual model is a diagram that connects variable constructs based on theory and logic to display visually the major relevant research constructs. The variable constructs are often represented as geometric shapes with arrows that may point to the dependent variables. So we will be discussing how to prepare a conceptual model, which is a diagram that visually represent the major variables or constructs in our research based on theory and logic. This diagram helps us understand the connections between these variables or constructs and how they relate to each other. By understanding what variable or constructs are variable or constructs are the key elements or concepts we want to study in our research. There could be anything from psychological traits, social factors, technological variables, or any other important elements related to our research topic. It is important to note that the direction of the arrows should be based on theory and logic. We need to understand that theoretical framework of our research and consider how the variable or constructs are connected. This logic connections will guide the direction of the arrows in our conceptual model. Any questions so far, if anyone is there? Okay. Preparing a conceptual model or the relationship shows accurate possible problems are implied mono-causality and unidirectional relationship. When creating a conceptual model, it is important to ensure that the relationships accurately represent the connections between the elements. Implied mono-causality occurs when a one-to-one relationship is suggested between two elements, implying that one element is the sole cause or effect of the other. So this oversimplification can lead to a misleading representation of reality. It is essential to recognize that most relationships in complex systems are multidimensional and involves multiple factors. Therefore, we should avoid assuming a single cause or effect without considering other potential influence. Next one is unidirectional relationship. This relationship occurs when the influence or interaction between two elements is as two elements falling in only one direction. In In reality, many relationships are bidirectionals, meaning they involve influences between the elements. Neglecting these bidirectional connections can hinder our understanding of how the system operates as a whole. Any question, if anyone is there? Okay. Yeah, so high quality conceptual framework. Uh, de Demonstrating conceptual ability is an integral part of M-level studies in business and management as stated in the relevant uh, quality assurance benchmark standards. So it provides a lens of analysis to enable you focus on your research objectives more closely. Quality assurance agency as stated in the relevant quality assurance agency benchmark standards. Demonstrating conceptual ability is an important aspect of M-level or master level studies in the field. A conceptual framework acts as a lens of analysis, helping us focus more closely on our research objectives. So a high quality conceptual framework plays a vital role in business and management studies at the master level. It enhances research focus, provide a theoretical foundation, guides research design and methodology, facilitates data interpretation and promotion, critical thinking. So by employing a robust framework, we can navigate through the complexities of our research objectives and contribute meaningfully to the field. Remember, a well-developed conceptual framework acts as a lens of analysis, allowing us to see the bigger picture while zooming in on the details. So, next is a high quality conceptual framework. It provides the structure of chapter 4. This enables a highly structured and relevant presentation of the impartial data and evaluation. It is the framework which you will use in chapter 4 to present evaluate your findings. How do I get one? Read the relevant literature. Are they relevant to your objectives? If not, move on. If they are, consider how they might be amalgamated to provide an integrated framework of analysis. Read the relevant literature. To begin, it is essential to explore that relevant literature in your field of interest. Look for books, research papers, articles, or online resources that discuss the concepts or models related to your objectives. Second is, are they relevant to your objectives? Once you have the relevant literature, explore into it and study the concepts presented, understand the key ideas, theories, and methodologies discussed in the material. Take notes, highlights important points, and make sure you comprehend the fundamental principles. If not, then move on, evaluate relevance to your objectives. After studying the concepts, critically assess their relevance to your objectives. Consider whether they align with your goals and aspirations. If the concepts are not directly applicable, or useful, it is better to move on and explore other resources that are more closely related to what you want to achieve. Fourth one, if they are consider how they might be amalgamated to provide an integrated framework of analysis. Next step is to consider how they can be amalgamated to create an integrated framework of analysis. Think about how different ideas and approaches can be combined to form cohesive understanding of your subject matters. So by integrating various concepts and models, you can gain a more comprehensive perspective and effective strategies to achieve your objectives. Any questions if anyone is there? Okay, next one is integrated framework. Your objectives will probably require the use of a number of relevant models from one area of the literature, for example, risk management, or use of a number of relevant models from different areas of literature, for example, risk management and organizational cultures. So integrated framework offers several benefits. Firstly, they allow us to gain a broader understanding of the risks we are facing. By considering multiple models, we can identify and evaluate risks from different angles. This comprehensive view help us capture a more accurate picture of the potential challenges ahead. Secondly, integrated framework enable us to develop more robust risk mitigation strategies. By combining insights from different models, we can uncover interdependencies and relationships that might otherwise be overlooked. So this holistic understanding guides us in creating effective strategies that address the complexity of a real world scenario. Any questions so far, if anyone is there? So here, objective direct the literature review. Objective 1, literature review. Objective 2, literature review. Objective 3, quantitative and qualitative analysis. And objective 4, research finding. So objective 1, literature review. In first objective is to conduct a thorough literature review. In this step, we gather existing knowledge and research relevant to our topic of interest. By reviewing the literature, we gain a deeper understanding of the current state of research, identify knowledge gaps, and build a solid foundation for our own studies. Objective 2, literature review, is to conduct a literature review with a specific focus on our research objectives. We carefully select and analyze studies that directly address our research questions. By doing so, we can refine our research design and ensures that our study is relevant and impactful. Objective 3, quantitative and qualitative analysis of the literature. Depending on the nature of our research, we may perform statistical analysis or analyze the content of the reviewed studies. It allows us to draw meaningful conclusions and make informed decisions about our own research approaches. Objective 4 is research finding. The final objective is to present our research finding based on the literature review and the subsequent analysis. We generate new insight and contribute to the existing knowledge in our field. By sharing our finding, we contribute to the scientific community and pave the way for further research in the future. Objectives direct the literature review. Beware too many objectives or a few objectives that are ill-defined make the scope of literature review too wide. So first and important to avoid having too many objectives for your literature review. When you have an excessive number of objectives, it can lead to confusion and make your review lose focus. So remember, the purpose of a literature review is to provide a comprehensive analysis of existing research. So having a clear and manageable set of objectives is key. Pitfall or of ill-defined objectives. Uh, a few objectives that are poorly defined. When your objectives lack clarity or clarity or that misunderstanding, it becomes challenging to conduct a meaningful review. Ill-defined objectives can lead to a scattered and unstructured literature review where it becomes difficult to draw meaningful conclusions. Make the scope of the literature review too wide. Any questions, or anybody can explain me about scope of literature review too wide? If questions about setting objectives that make the scope of your literature review too wide. A wider scope can overwhelm you with an excessive amount of literature to review, making it challenging to stay focused and deliver a comprehensive analysis. Narrowing down the scope helps you explore deeper into specific research areas, provide more meaningful insights. Objectives direct the literature review. If the literature review is too wide, many models appears to be relevant, and this can lead to a dysfunctional and unwidely literature review. Overblown literature review may look great on paper, but this makes utility to structure chapter 4 questionable. A massive literature review will result in a massive chapter 4 requiring huge efforts to collate analysis and present the data. So narrowing down the focus when conducting a literature review, we need to avoid being too broad in your approach. A literature review that encompasses a wide range of models and theories can become overwhelming and result in a dysfunctional and unwidely review. Maintaining relevance and utility, it might be tempting to include an extensive number of sources in your literature review. It is important to consider the utility of the review in structuring chapter 4 of your thesis. And overblown literature review might appear impressive on paper, but it does not serve a clear purpose in supporting your research objectives. So its value becomes questionable. Striving for manageability. One potential pitfall of an excessively large literature review is the amount of effort required to collect data, analyze, and present the data. Remember, a massive literature review will result in a massive chapter 4, which can be challenging to manage effectively. So therefore, the third objective is to strive for manageability, aim to strike a balance between comprehensive and conciseness. Any questions so far, if anyone is there? Right. So I can't find suitable models sometimes, but seldom the case. Remember, your research contexts are likely to be unique. If you search for an off-the-shelf lit review, you will be unlikely to find one. Usually, the literature review is assembled from existing models, or you may develop your own. Usually, only part of the literature review is developed this way. So here he's discussing, very important aspect of research, finding suitable models for your study. Sometimes it can be challenging to find existing models that perfectly fit your objectives and research context. But fear not, as we explore into this topic, we will explore different strategies to overcome this hurdle. It is important to remember that your research objectives and context are likely to be unique. This uniqueness make it unlikely that you will stumble upon an off-the-shelf literature review that perfectly matches your needs. However, this should not discourage you. Instead, it should encourage you to approach the literature review process in a more tailored manner. So how can we address this issue? The most common approach is to assemble the literature review from existing models. This means that you search for relevant studies, papers, and articles that touch upon similar topics of areas of interest. However, there might be instances where the existing models fall short in capturing the entirety of your research objectives. In such cases, you have the option to develop your own model, but keep in mind that this is usually only a part of the literature review process. That's all for today. So I hope this lecture has provided you with valuable insight into designing business research methodologies. So if you have any questions or would you like to discuss any specific aspects further, please let me know or drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk. And thanks for listening me, and see you in our next class in next Sunday or Saturday, and see you for now. Bye for now, and have a good evening. Have a good day, and bye.